Hello, I'm Elizabeth Vanderkamp, artist in residence with UAB Institute for Arts and Medicine, and I'd like to share with you a lovely art form called Zentangle. Zentangle, here's the definition, you can read it and I'll say it also, is an easy to learn, relaxing and fun way to create beautiful images by drawing structured patterns. Now, maybe this doesn't happen to you, but when I read easy to learn, I think, oh, it won't be easy for me. But I will say I have found this is easy, and it is relaxing, and it is really fun. It's fun to do by yourself, and it's also fun to do in a group. And let me show you why. The motto of Zentangle is anything is possible, one stroke at a time. And I'd like to share a story with you from Maria and Rick that created Zentangle. They developed this method and they went to a school of an area where the children did not have very many school supplies. And they bought supplies to do Zentangle and brought some of their beautiful Zentangle examples. And the children looked at these examples and they said, we can't do that. And Rick and Maria said, well, are you willing to try? And the kids said, okay, we'll try. Well, what they found was one stroke at a time, they could do it. And the same is true for us. So if we can draw a dot, a line that's not straight, a curve, a shape similar to an S, and an oval, not even a circle, then we can do Zentangle. And there are basically 8 steps to doing it. They are as follows. The first thing we do, and we're actually going to do this now, is take a moment of gratitude and appreciation. And maybe you're looking around and not feeling particularly grateful, which I think happens to us all. But I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, which I'm going to do also right now. And let's just take 3 deep inhales and exhales together. So we'll inhale. A couple more. So I feel better. I hope you do too. So if we are not feeling particularly grateful, we can focus on our breath. The next steps are how we actually create a tangle. So we draw corner dots, which I'll show you, a border, string, tangle, shade and blend, initial and sign, and then we go all the way back to appreciating. So get ready. I'm going to show you all the supplies we need and we're going to sit down and do Zentangle. Thank you. Hello. So now hopefully you're sitting at a table. I'm sitting at a table and I invite you to find these supplies. Cardstock, just a thick piece of paper about 4 by 4. It could be bigger if you want. I wouldn't go any smaller than this. A pen, you can use a really fancy, lovely pen like a Micron or a Sharpie, and I'm using a Crayola marker, which will also work. A pencil, ideally your pencil does not have an eraser, but if it does, I just ask you not to use your eraser because we're not going to make any mistakes. We're just going to have opportunities. And then finally, you need your pinky finger and all of its friends because we might end up using all of our fingers. And of course, you and your willingness. So we're going to do 4 Zentangles, Printemps, Floors, Rick's Paradox, and Dion, beginning with Printemps. So I'm going to move this supply list out of the way and get my tile, my pencil, and my marker. So here's my tile, my pencil. So if you remember, we did our breathing. That's step 1. Step 2 is we make corner dots. So I'm not going to be precious about these dots. They're just dots. So I'm making one in one corner, other corner, third corner, fourth corner. We have begun. I'm going to connect my corner dots with a border. I am not a fan of straight lines, so my lines are a little wavy, but yours could be straight. Now sometimes after this we would draw a string which would divide this shape into two parts. We're going to skip that part and just work on our tangle in here. I'm putting my pencil down for now, but I'll need it again, and I have my marker. So here we go. I'm going to make a dot. I'm going to circle around my dot, pause, make a dot, pick up my pen again, circle around again, pause, make a dot, circle, and connect. So you probably know this, I just learned this. Printemps in French means spring. So we're honoring springtime. So I'm gonna make another one of these. I'm gonna start with a dot, circle around, pause, make a dot, circle around, pause, make a dot, circle around, and oh my goodness, look at this. I've run into my first doolally. So I'm going to imagine that my pen goes underneath what I've already drawn, and I pick it up on the other side and keep going and make another dot, pick it up, go around. This one's gonna be really big, make another dot, and I'm gonna stop right there. So I'm just gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna do another one here, start with my dot, go around, dots, around, dot, around, dot, around, and connect. And you probably noticed that on this one, I forgot to connect, but that's okay. If you did connect, I am so glad, but I'm gonna keep going. I see that as an opportunity, and I hope you do too. Here we go. Dot, around, dot, around, dot, around, and connect. I remembered that time. I'm gonna do another one. Same thing, dot, around, pause with my dot, keep going. I'm gonna do one more because I kind of like how funky wonky this is, and I'm gonna give this little guy, it's just gonna be all over here by himself. And connect. So you can fill up the whole space within the border, or you can stop at any point. The next step is to shade and blend. So I'm going to take my pencil, hold it on the side, and get some graphite down. You can be absolutely systematic about this. Say, I'm going to do the outer edge of each of these little springtime things, or I'm going to be random, or maybe I imagine the sun is shining from the right side, so the shadows are all on the left. I am being very random in my shading. Okay, so I'm going to put my pencil down. This is where I need my pinky finger. I'm going to take my pinky finger, I'm going to rub it on the back of my other hand, maybe on my wrist, and I'm going to use the skin oil that I got and rub it on the pencil marks. Now, of course, some of us have more oily skin than others, so do the best you can. And sometimes it helps to use a bigger finger, maybe like your ring finger. So, ooh, I'm finding that's working better for me. And what happens with that smudging is that it blends in the pencil mark and just makes it look like more of a part of the tangle. Now, when we began our piece of paper, our tile was blank and we have made art. So I am going to put my tag, my initials in kind of a funky way on the tangle. I like to do E, V, K. Those are my initials. And then I turn the K into a little leaf. So it looks like that. Then I'm going to turn my tangle over. I'm going to actually sign it with my signature. That is my signature. And put today's date, which is the 24th of March, 2020. And I like to put what I was doing or who I was with, and this is a video with you. And finally, I turn my tangle over and I look at it. And I decide something that I like. I like how I did. It could be how I did my initials, how I shaded, how I drew my border, anything at all. So if this is hard for you, I completely understand, but I invite you to admire your work. I like that I didn't fill up the whole space because I usually do. I can't wait to hear what you liked. Thanks for joining me for Zentangle.